I think it was during the summer, so it was about a year and a half ago. It wasn't last summer, it was summer before last.
Is that when you were brought before what you call the Grand Council? Is that what
Yeah, uh-huh.
So tell us about that.
Oh, it was real intense. It was it was like I became accountable for all my actions, and I experienced what's going to happen to all of us when we die. When you go on or you don't go on in evolution, or you're called accountable for everything that you've done and said, or what you haven't done is the problem.
And did that happen in this consciousness or with them?
With them.
While the class was in session?
While the class was in session.
You just kind of dropped off on them, huh?
Not really. I was still in the class.
So we were like unconscious?
No, I was conscious. I was laying right over there. And it wasn't like when I was with them before. They were in the presence of the room, and they were working with me, and it was all the things that I hadn't done, which was the problem. It wasn't the things that I had done. It's the things that you don't do are the things that really cause a problem. It's all the things that you avoid doing that come down on you.
If you don't do them, you come back and do them anyway, right?
Right. It's over and over and over to a certain point where you go out of existence.
What about the netters? I've hung around here for a little while and I hear netters this, netters that, and
Okay.
who or what are they?
The netters are the cosmic laws, or the laws of nature, that put cause and effect into motion. Like, for example, there would be a netter that would be somewhere in the cosmos that would be enforcing gravity and make sure that gravity is in functioning within its area of functioning. And gravity wouldn't be just the one thing that netter would be responsible for. It would be like an organization of ants, let's put it this way, that had a community, and each type of ant is responsible for doing a different thing in the community. And you could say, well, this ant is in charge of carrying sugar, and that's what that ant does, is just carry sugar back and forth. You could compare the netters to the personalities of evolved souls that have taken on the responsibility for maintaining the integrity of the cosmos.
So are they people or entities?
Entities. I would say they've lost their peopleness.
But the netter itself, is that the force or the entity who is
The
in
force
charge?
is generated by them.
It is?
Mm-hmm.
And without them it wouldn't be?
They always will be, because they're made by creation.
The entities or the powers? Or they're one and the same?
The one and the same.
So is God, there is one God, right? Is he mind?
Well, no, there's lots of gods.
Oh, right.
There's Buddha, and there's Allah, and there's Christ, and there's Elohim.
But the Creator?
The Creator isn't a person.
No.
The Creator is a force. It's the force of Phi, or the resonation, which is called Om, and we'll explain that in the lecture on Phi. And everything is a distortion of that.
So are the netters collectively the Creator? Could you say
They're
that?
a result of the creation. They're created by the creation. And they carry out the functions of the distortion of Phi. The netters are spoken of in the Egyptian Book of the Dead. It's real interesting. And the netters are always seem to be in the presence when there's a weighing the heart ceremony that takes place, when a person is allowed to evolve on or hindered from evolving on. And so you can sort of compare the netters to like the Summa individuals. They would be very similar to them, although the netters aren't the same as the Summa individuals that I've spoken about having dealt with. But they fulfill similar functions. The Summa individuals are working under the guidance of the netters.
So there's a literal hierarchy, right?
Well, yeah, it's sort of like light. When light shines down, pure light, okay, and you put it through a crystal or a prism, it breaks up into a rainbow of colors, okay? And so we have all the different colors, and we could call those the netters. They came from an original source, but they were broken up, and they all have a different job of manifesting a different color. And so that, if you wanted to call it a hierarchy, I guess you could. The hierarchy would be the light shining into the prism, and the prism would generate the colors, and then the colors would be a hierarchy over
That helps a lot.
other colors. And so it's a natural thing within creation. It's not something that somebody chooses to do. Like, I was always of the belief system before this happened to me that you made your own destiny, and that you chose what was, or you went out and dug it up and created and made it yourself, and then you were the hierarchy, and you could become this hierarchy. And then I discovered that you're molded into it. If you will sing the song of creation and become like it, then you are in harmony with it, or in unity with it, and you're with nature rather than separated from it. We're separated from it by allowing ourselves to get stuck in our egos and believing that we have control over it rather than it control over us.
Are the netters innumerable, or are there a set number of them?
There's 9 netters that deal with this cosmos. Major 9 netters.
The physical cosmos are...
But there's 27 netters in different descriptions of them. They come in sets of 9, which is real interesting.
Do the Summa Individuals ever present themselves here within the pyramid, like invisibly, though?
Yeah, they're always sort of hanging around. To be honest with you, if you can remember some of the things that you've tried to get away with, John, that you haven't been able to get away with once you've gone through some of the initiations, they're there writing on you. There's this ancient saying that goes something like, you're born with 1,000 devils or 1,000 angels on your shoulder, and they always speak to you and talk to you. And whenever you are avoiding something that you should be doing, or you're doing something that you feel that isn't wise to be doing, the netters are there talking to you. And they're a lot of times real difficult to ignore. Wouldn't you say?
I would say.
You would say that, huh? Good. And so they make it beautiful, and they make it uncomfortable sometimes too. When you say you're going to do something, this is the problem that I was speaking of a few minutes ago. It's the things that you don't do after you've committed to do something, after you've set your way in a particular path, and you've given your word that you will go down that and do that, and then you try to sneak out of it or avoid it or deny that you ever said that you would do it. This is where the dishonesty comes about in a person's soul. And so it's the things that you don't do that you've committed yourself to that are the problems. Not necessarily the things you do. It's a paradox. Other questions about the original experience? If there's not, we can close, and we'll set up the blackboard and go through 5.